From deep-sea wreck discoveries to mysterious aircraft in Colombia, these are 10 strange abandoned airplanes. Number 10. The Samara Aerodrome. We kick off this list with the incredible collection of aircraft at the Samara Aerodrome in Russia. We have some helicopters in the mix as well. Probably the most exciting find is this Tupolev Tu-144. It was the first ever commercial supersonic jet. Seems like humanity wasn't ready for it then, and I don't think we are ready for it now. There's also a Turboprop An-12 that found its way here. These planes were generally used for transport. And this little guy is the Antonov An-2, nicknamed Annushka. It was primarily used for crop dusting. Crop dusting. Here is the whole collection from the air. It looks like they let the place go. Number 9. The Tupolev Tu-144. What's going on here? We are looking at a plane on a platform in the middle of the sea? Yeah, that's right. This Soviet-made Tupolev Tu-144 was the personal plane of Todor Zhivkov, a former communist leader in Bulgaria. Apparently, it's the biggest airplane to ever be submerged. It's expected to bring a lot of tourism to the area, and the plane itself will soon become a bustling reef for little fishies to swim around in. Number 8. The Miss Piggy. This Curtiss C-46, owned by Lamb Air, was nicknamed Miss Piggy because of the massive amount of cargo she could hold. And at one point, the cargo actually consisted of pigs. Yes, live pigs. I thought this was a lie, but you can transport livestock with airplanes. Who knew? Back to Miss Piggy. The airplane was starting a routine cargo delivery mission to the Arctic Co-op. Shortly after takeoff, one of the engines lost oil pressure. The situation was dire, so they tried to return to the Churchill airport. No such luck though. Miss Piggy crash landed and 2 of the 3 pilots on board were seriously injured. The airplane has been rusting away on the rocks for a long time now, but it did get a paint job from a movie production. Before we get to the next segment, check this photo out. Do you know where this plane is? Comment with your answer below and see if you are right by the end of the video. Number 7. The Pacific Theater. The Asia-Pacific War Theater of World War II was brutal, deadly, and unforgiving. The military process for stopping the Japanese Empire was mostly based on island hopping. From the Aleutian Islands of Alaska to the Triumph at Iwo Jima and everything in between. Islands in the Pacific are littered with remnants of the war. Looking through these pictures, it's a somber reminder that life wasn't always this peaceful. Most of these wrecks can be found on islands in Micronesia, and even though the US never stepped foot on Yap Island, they did bomb the crap out of them. Number 6. Zhukovsky Airport. What started off as a super secretive military base, usually compared to the likes of Edwards Air Force Base in the USA, the Zhukovsky Airfield in Russia ended up being a glorified tourist destination. At one point, it even offered tourist flights in expensive military jets, which actually doesn't sound too bad. Would you take a flight in a modern fighter jet if you could? If yes, which one? What we're looking at here is the glorious waste of materials. These cargo planes are huge, and hopefully they will be scrapped and recycled in the future. It would be sad if they just rotted away in the middle of the forest somewhere. Number 5. Drug plane down. The drug business in the USA is huge, with no signs of ever slowing down. Even though we have been at war with drugs for the past however many years, it will probably never be won. The Bahamas has a few great diving spots, and this abandoned drug plane is one of them. Not too much of a backstory here. Some cartel was moving their product, the plane crashed, and whatever could be salvaged disappeared quickly. Now it's just a spot for fish to hang out. Number 4. Another one. All great things come in twos. That's a saying, right? This drug plane was found in Colombia, in a city that is extremely close to the border with Panama. Maybe this plane would have met the same fate as the last one we looked at if it actually went on the flight. I don't know. I think it makes for a great jungle gym for the kids though. Number 3. Pearls Airport. Did you know that the US government invaded Grenada back in 1983? Grenada is a small Caribbean island nation with a tiny population. During Operation Urgent Fury, and yes, it had everything to do with the spread of communism in the area, US forces managed to take over the militant government within weeks. The Pearls Airport was the official airport of Grenada since 1943 and was caught in the middle of all this conflict. Marines took over the airport, and a year later, it was shut down completely. Nothing of the original buildings remains, but you can still explore the abandoned Cuban airliner that is just waiting for takeoff on the runway. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Number 2. The Boeing 737 attraction. It's not easy to just transport a 737 all willy-nilly like, but somehow, this massive aircraft ended up in the town of Kuta, Indonesia. Looking at it from top down, you can see there are many houses surrounding it. How the hell did this plane get here? The story around the internet mentions a rich guy who wanted to turn this Boeing into a public attraction. A restaurant or maybe an arcade, who knows? He ran out of money and the project was not picked up by anybody else. There's no recent news on this plane, so don't plan your Indonesia trip around it. Number 1. The Maid of Harlech. This one is interesting. A Lockheed P-38 Lightning fighter aircraft was spotted at a beach in Wales, but the exact location has been hidden. In 1942, during a training exercise, the pilot forgot to switch the fuel lines after takeoff, and the plane suffered catastrophic failure. The pilot could not make it back to base, so he tried to crash land on the beach, but he came a few feet short. The shifting sands in the area covered and protected the crashed aircraft for some 60-odd years. Since its rediscovery in 2007, there has been an ongoing mission to preserve and possibly move the aircraft to a museum, but funding is short. Check out the featured comment below, subscribe for more World and Earth, and I'll see you in the next video.